you know there was an incident in our country that sent shockwaves from Delhi to Madhya Pradesh? People began to wonder how greed within a family could dismantle even the closest of relationships. Today's story revolves around such a case when a girl disappeared from her own village, and shockingly, her family members showed no concern about it. Hello, friends. How are you all doing? Today's topic is about Leena Sharma. This story begins in India's capital, Delhi. In Delhi, there's an area called Vasankonsha where a girl named Leena Sharma lived. At one point, she worked as an assistant manager at the American Embassy School in Delhi. Later, due to some circumstances, she left that job and started working in a private company in a good position. Leena had a degree in foreign trade and was also an excellent swimmer. She had competed at the national level 9 times. Originally, Leena's family was from Hoshangabad in Madhya Pradesh. In Suhagpur police station's jurisdiction, there's a village called Doda Day, where Leena's parents owned 70 acres of land. Leena had an elder sister named Leena Sharma, who was married. Her husband worked in Bengaluru. However, Leena and her husband later moved to the village of Doda Day, leaving Bengaluru. Meanwhile, Leena continued living in Delhi, pursuing her career. Out of the 70 acres, 35 acres of land belonged to Leena as part of her share. However, no boundaries or fencing marked the land, which left it vulnerable. In the same village, Leena's uncle, her mother's brother Pradeep Sharma, also lived. He was the block Congress president and a dominant figure in the village. Pradeep Sharma cultivated crops on approximately 11 acres of Leena's land. Although he wasn't supposed to, he would send some money from the crop yields to Leena, justifying that he was taking care of her land. Leena, having lost both her parents, had no guardian other than her elder sister and uncle. One day, Leena decided to legally fence her land to secure it. Her plan was to eventually sell the land and settle in a city like Delhi or Jaipur. She also started considering marriage, as she felt the time was right. Leena discussed her plans with her friends, seeking their advice. Since her uncle was cultivating a part of her land, she worried about how to inform him about her decision to fence the property. Gathering courage, she called him and shared her intentions. Her uncle politely asked her to visit the village and inspect the land herself. On April 18, 2016, Leena traveled from Delhi to Bhopal. She stayed with a friend in Bhopal before heading to Suhagpur by train on April 20th. On April 23rd, she demarcated 35 acres of her land. She planned to start fencing the property on April 29th. While staying in the village, Leena stayed in touch with her friends through calls and messages, sharing updates about the situation. However, as the fencing day approached, she suddenly stopped communicating. Soon after, Leena vanished from the village. Her uncle and other villagers assumed she had left for Delhi due to some work. However, her friends in Delhi became concerned when they couldn't reach her. Both her phones were switched off. They contacted her elder sister and uncle, who claimed she had left the village. When her friends tried to file a missing person complaint at the Vasant Kunj police station, they were told the matter fell under another state's jurisdiction. Days turned into weeks, and still, there was no trace of Leena. Finally, on May 5, 2016, her uncle Pradeep Sharma filed a missing person report at the Suhagpur police station, stating that Leena had been missing since the morning of April 28th. Despite searching the entire village, there was no sign of her. Millie lives in Delhi. Her friends said that even the cleaners haven't seen her in Delhi. We are confused and unsure of what to do. You must search for her. The police filed a complaint, but they seemed to take it lightly. They thought she might have gone somewhere and would return on her own. By the way, her uncle was currently the block Congress president. However, concerns about filing a police report began to grow. 2 weeks passed, every effort was made, but nothing significant was achieved. With no progress, her friends were left with only one option: to turn to social media. All her friends created a Facebook page named *Leena*. They started posting about her disappearance. Leena went missing on this date. This is when she was last contacted, and this is when her phone went off. They posted every bit of information about her, hoping someone might help find her. They also shared their experience with the police on this page. Gradually, the page gained traction, and people began to join. Friends from Bhopal also extended their support. They tagged the MP police in their posts. Within a few days, a senior officer from the Madhya Pradesh police noticed the page. They realized that Lena had gone missing in the Sohagpur police jurisdiction, and the police there had not taken any significant action. The officers became concerned that their inaction might harm their reputation and raise questions about law and order. They put pressure on the Sohagpur police to prioritize the case, warning them to find Leena Sharma at any cost to avoid major consequences later. The friends' efforts bore fruit. The Sohagpur police took the case seriously and began their investigation in earnest. According to Lena's uncle, she had been missing since April 28th. By now, 15 days had passed since her disappearance. The police took her phone number and began surveillance. Initially, both her phone numbers were switched off. But fortunately, one of her numbers became active. Surveillance revealed that her phone was active in the Pipariya area of Hoshangabad district. A police team was dispatched to Pipariya. Following the location, they found a man who had Lena's phone. The police questioned him. The man said he found the phone lying on a train. After waiting for someone to claim it, he picked it up. The police checked his background and found no criminal record. They confiscated the phone and released him after further questioning. The second phone, however, remained untraceable. The recovered phone was brought to the control room to retrieve call details. The police identified the last few numbers she had contacted. Most were her acquaintances, but the last call was to an unknown number. This raised suspicion. Upon further investigation, the unknown number was found to belong to an auto driver. The police brought the driver in for questioning. The driver confirmed knowing Lena and said he had dropped her at a village on April 29th. This surprised the police because Lena's uncle had reported her missing since April 28th. The driver insisted, confidently, that he dropped her on April 29th. He even recalled that Lena had taken his number earlier, as he was the one who usually dropped her at the village. The police revisited the timeline and realized Lena's uncle might have reported the wrong date, either by mistake or intentionally. Meanwhile, discussions about Lena's disappearance continued in the Facebook group. The group included some of Lena's close friends, who blamed her uncle for her distress. Lena had been under stress for years due to land disputes involving her uncle. He was allegedly farming on her land without permission, and there was an ongoing property dispute in the High Court. Despite this, if Lena came to the village and disappeared suddenly, suspicion naturally fell on him. The police began doubting her uncle, Pradeep Sharma. His incorrect reporting of dates and the accusations from Lena's friends only added to their suspicion. The police summoned Pradeep to the station for questioning. Pradeep claimed that Lena had arrived in the village on April 28th from Bhopal to check on fencing work for her land and then left suddenly. The police pressed him with more questions, trying to make him reveal more under pressure. When did you realize she was missing? Why did you delay filing the report? What actions did you take after her disappearance? Are you sure about the dates? Pradeep confidently maintained that Lena had gone missing on April 28th. The investigation continued. It was unimaginable that the police could uncover such evidence. They found Lena's phone, conversations of her friends, the statement of an auto driver, and many other crucial pieces of information. When Pradeep Sharma saw all this evidence, he broke down and confessed to his crime. He, along with his friends, murdered Leena Sharma. Lena and her elder sister Hina inherited their family land, 70 acres in total, after their parents passed away. Hina received 35 acres, and Lena got the remaining 35. Their father died during their childhood, and their mother passed away in 2024. Lena later moved to Delhi to pursue her studies and career. Meanwhile, Hina and her husband settled their share of the land and took care of it. Lena, being a legal advisor to her elder sister, trusted her maternal uncle Mama Jai to oversee her property in her absence. Initially, Mama Jai grew vegetables on 11 acres of Lena's land. Lena assumed he was maintaining the property in good faith and remained focused on her career in Delhi. However, Mama Jai deceitfully occupied a portion of her property. When Lena discovered this, she lodged complaints and decided to resolve the matter legally. One day, Lena called her uncle to discuss fencing the property. Mama Jai, fearing the loss of the land, devised a sinister plan. On April 18th, Lena traveled from Delhi to Bhopal and stayed at a friend's house. She later reached Sohagpur by train on April 20th and began the process of demarcating her land on April 23rd. The fencing work was scheduled for April 29th. On the day of the fencing, Lena arrived at the village with workers and legal officers. However, Mama Jai intervened with two of his accomplices, persuading Lena to postpone the fencing. He promised to take care of it himself, reassuring her that she didn't need to make frequent trips. Trusting her uncle, Lena postponed the work and secured the fencing material in a neighboring house. The legal team and workers left, leaving Lena alone with Mama Jai and his two associates. Mama Jai lured Lena behind a hut in the fields, where he asked her to relinquish the 11 acres he had been farming. When Lena refused, one of his accomplices struck her on the head with a stone. Lena collapsed, and they began beating her with sticks. Mama Jai then strangled her to death. To dispose of the body, they brought a tractor and carried Lena's body, along with salt and urea packets, to a dry canal in a nearby forest. They stripped the body to prevent identification and buried it with the chemicals to accelerate decomposition. On May 5th, Mama Jai and Hina lodged a missing person complaint. Meanwhile, the police investigation revealed incriminating evidence, including Lena's phones, which were deliberately discarded on separate trains. The police arrested Mama Jai and his two accomplices. Lena's sister Hina also came under suspicion for her delayed reaction to Lena's disappearance and her alleged interest in Lena's property, which was more valuable than her own. During the trial, all evidence pointed to Mama Jai and his accomplices. Despite their initial confession, Mama Jai was granted bail after 9 months, and the accomplices followed after 11 months. However, in 2023, the Session Court sentenced all three to life imprisonment. The court also ruled that Lena's property should go to her closest blood relative, which was her elder sister Hina. Despite the verdict, Mama Jai's family continued farming Lena's land until the court intervened.